In the following video, Daniel Brown was in his small home all by himself, while his girlfriend was in town doing the grocery shopping. Daniel was watching some YouTube because he had finished his work for the day and had nothing much else to do, but out of nowhere, an unexpected event took his attention away from the platform. After this event, Daniel explained that he has always felt like he is being watched since, and does not feel safe in his own house one bit. Think he is overreacting? Well, take a look for yourself.
Alright, people. I don't know what exactly is going on here, but there's been a lot of weird noises happening in my house, and I can't explain them whatsoever. Down this hallway is where it usually happens. From the bathroom here to the bedroom. So about 2.5 weeks ago, I was just sitting in my lounge room, just on my computer, chilling, watching some YouTube, and I heard footsteps track from about here, going into the bedroom, even though the door was closed. Like, no shit, I was sitting here by myself, right there on my setup, and the fuck was that? Are you hearing that? Did you just fucking hear that? Just as I'm talking about it. Come on, happen again. Come on. Keep going. Keep it going. Sounds like someone's trying to open this door. Bear in mind, there are no windows open in here. There are no windows or doors open in here right now, so I can't explain what is happening. I keep hearing footsteps, doors fluttering. These lights seem to flicker every now and then, but I'm just thinking that's an electrical issue. Me again. Hold on. And there's no one. What the fuck, I swear to God. I don't know what's going on, but something's going on in here, and it's interesting, and I love it. It's amazing. Peace out.
Now, unfortunately, Daniel was unable to incentivize the spirit to move the door on camera, but he did capture the footsteps from the other side, and in order to prove the clip's validity, he searched the room. There was nothing in there that could have caused footstep noises. Daniel and his girlfriend are currently in the process of moving house, as they are terrified of what this spirit was capable of next time. All we can do is wish them luck in the future. This next video has a very similar principle to the last one I showed you and involves some kind of movement coming from another room. This clip went the extra mile though, and the person behind the camera, Sabrina, managed to capture some extra paranormal activity along the way.
Did you hear that? It sounds like somebody's walking up there. Bro, my fucking eyes are watering. This is scaring me. Hold on. Oh my god, as soon as I stopped it, I heard it. I know you guys heard that. I hope I got that. Did you hear it? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna turn. Look, nobody's up here. Oh my god. Look at his door is closed. Oh my god. Nope. 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 I gotta tell my daughter, boo-boo. Oh my god. There's water in my eyes. Oh my god. Why does it sound like, and I recorded it. It sounds like somebody's in your brother's room. And I went up there to show that the door was closed. Tell me why his door opened when I went up there. I swear. I ran down here by myself. I'm recording it. Come up there with me to show them nobody's here. Oh my god. That made my eyes water, you guys. I showed it on camera. My son is not home. I'm not going to stop the recording just so I can show you guys.
That's scary.
I know, I ran down here. I ran down here so fast. Okay. Oh my god, that scared me. And it sounds like somebody's walking around up there, and I got it on recording. Yes, hold me. Look at his door's moving. Okay, we're gonna go up there and I'm gonna show you guys nobody is in his room. He is not here. Turn your flashlight on. Oh my god. Hurry up and come up here so you can point it to show nobody's in the room. Look. Look. Nobody's in here. Nobody.
Look, even Pixie.
You guys literally, you seen that in real time with me. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm freaking out. Oh no. I told you guys. And there's been that mimic. And my daughter has heard it when I'm not here. It says my name, or it says her name in my voice when I'm not here. And it says my name in her voice when I'm not here. And, or when she's not here. And now that's happening. Look at my dog. Oh, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not coming under the side of the house no more. Oh my god.
Strangely, what seemed to be footsteps could be heard from the attic, and like any normal person, Sabrina got pretty worked up about this. She and her daughter were the only two people in the house, so it made absolutely no sense why these noises were being made. In the heat of the moment, both her and her daughter believed that the noises were coming from a squatter, people who live in your house uninvited. However, after catching the door opening on its own accord, they both tilted more towards the paranormal side and left it up to their audience to decide what caused it. I will do the same. Make sure to comment whether you think this was caused by a squatter or a spirit, because I am keen to hear your thoughts. During the summertime, family kayaking is a very popular activity as it allows for physical activity, as well as some great family bonding. One man, however, by the name of Drew, always kayaked alone because his wife had a huge fear of the water, which was passed down onto the children from her. Talk about a bad influence. Over his years of going out on his kayak, Drew had found some amazing things, from submerged trucks to head-to-heads with alligators, and in this video, he found something just as cool. Little did he know that this thing was haunted though, and you are about to discover why.
I don't know if anybody can see this or not, but I just reported it. That's a car in the river. That is an SUV. Look at this. Completely, fully submerged. It honestly looks like a Kia Soul. Can you guys see that?
Dad, pay attention. We're swimming to the edge.
The leading theory here was that the muffled voices were coming from underwater, but not from real people. They came from the poor family who passed away when the car submerged. This is the leading conclusion because one of the voices says, "Dad, pay attention because we are close to the edge." This was likely his or her last sentence before they were fighting for their lives, likely finished off by some hungry alligators downstream. After processing this scenario, Drew did the only morale thing and called a pickup truck to come and take the vehicle from the river so that they could recover any potential bodies who did not manage to get out of the car. What Drew saw was beyond shocking, though.
Here it comes now. A white Kia Soul.
In the back of the car, some sort of human figure could be seen moving around, but this was no normal person because a few moments later, nothing was in the back seat. This figure was the figure of the youngest child who passed away in the car, and he was aged just 11. He came out to this area because his dad thought it would be a great adventure and never came back. The person in this next clip was called Muko, and we have actually taken a look into a lot of his previous content. He is a ghost hunter who posts his findings to YouTube in order to gain more customers, and his marketing strategy is genius, to be fair. The things he sees are beyond crazy, and no regular human would be able to endure them without letting out a scream. Muko, on the other hand, did this to pay the bills, and was far past the point of being frightened by, quote, such harmless entities. The upcoming ghost hunt started in the last video on this channel, and he was paid a big amount of money to get rid of the spirits inside of this building. First, though, he needed to detect them and find some paranormal activity for evidence of a spiritual presence. The opening and closing of this cupboard lasted a lot longer than this and would not stop no matter what. Muko stayed there despite being bored out of his mind because he was offered $100 for every 10 seconds of haunted activities going on, and it is safe to say he made over $2,000 from this cupboard alone. Eventually, the cupboard stopped moving, and Muko debated leaving the property due to the sheer amount of money he had already earned. However, he was a man of pride and knew that leaving so soon would only annoy the person who paid him to come on this mission, and the review would be a horrible one, tarnishing his business. It was getting late, and he activated his night vision camera when it detected this. The boot tried to work its way across the room in the strangest way possible, and the cabinet also started shaking vigorously. The fact that both of these coexisted with each other meant that there were two ghosts in the property, which meant double trouble for Mikhailo. He left the house and asked the owner for a pay rise before starting his plan to get rid of them both. On September 3rd of 2024, Sylvia was in her house doing one of her routine reviews. Her dream was to become a superstar on social media, and the beginning for her journey was food reviews, as she was really into cooking. In the video that you are about to see, she was hyping up a sweet that she had never tried before and seemed really excited to give it a go. However, a diversion occurred when she decided to show her audience the mirror that her children gifted to her for Mother's Day. This diversion led to a very eerie scene. Take a look.
Gente, eu vou comer com vocês o melhor brigadeiro da vida, que é da doceria da Lulu. E olha que bonitinho que eu ganhei no Dia das Mães atrasado, mas ela me deu. É espelhinho de bom, deixa eu abrir e mostrar. Olha, que lindo. Deixa eu abrir. Ai, meu Deus. Amei. E agora vamos provar. Eu sou, tipo assim, viciada nesse brigadeiro dela. É simplesmente o melhor brigadeiro que eu já comi na minha vida. Nossa, gente. É muito bom. Muito bom.
If you look very closely at the mirror, some sort of ghostly face could be seen on the other side, and Sylvia said that nothing in front of her at the time resignated that image in any shape or form, leading one theory to reign superior over the rest. A spirit of some sort was staring right back at her that day. One paranormal event in isolation is by far spooky enough, but a sequence of events, I have no idea how people cope. Arash Afnan was launched into one of these paranormal sequences on a random Saturday night when he extended his son's curfew. After these incidents happened, I bet he would have wished he did not let his son stay up so late, because no child should be forced to experience something on this magnitude of scary.
Lubis, tidur dalam bilik Lubis. Lubis. Lubis.
All sorts of unnatural things occurred, from moving toys to a flying carpet. However, one event outstood all of the others, and it was the flashing of the microphone. You see, this was a touch-activated toy and was getting old, so needed a lot of pressure to activate. So much that it even takes the father a good 15 seconds to get it working for his son. For a ghost to get something like that working, it must have been extraordinarily powerful, and that is putting things lightly. Sombra was a very young Spanish girl, aged 13, and loved to post her makeup routines to social media. It took a lot of begging for her mother to allow her to do it, and in the end, they concluded that the account would be controlled by her parents. They thought they would just be hitting upload every other day and see nice and wholesome comments about Sombra. However, one day the notifications they received were very odd. People were explaining how a door moved on its own accord and how they heard noises coming from all around her. So anxiously they watched the video.
Bueno, me puse a grabar porque estoy escuchando cosas. Entonces, el crimen. Me manché. Me manché un poco. Uy, quedaron súper bonitas. Abajo también. No entiendo por qué. ¿Por qué? Mejor me hago rápido y yo me voy. Es que chicos, yo estoy sola. Voy a ir a ver. Voy a ir a ver. No hay nadie. Chicos, la verdad no sé. No sé por qué es así, pero bueno, voy a acabarme de hacer rápido, pero el pelo. Yo como que me voy así pegada porque la verdad que no sé.
The comments were right, and Sombra's parents never allowed her to post again, believing that this is what summoned the responsible spirit. In the following video, Amy, a recent college graduate, was home all by herself when some strange stuff started to happen. It was roughly 2 in the afternoon, and her roommates both had to go and attend a university lecture, leaving her all alone. Amy decided to dedicate the time to catching up on her favorite TV series, but clearly there was an entity that did not want her to follow through with said plans.
It's f***ing happening again. I'm gonna record it this time. Come on. Look. Can you see that? The fuck? That's... What the hell? They're all open. What the hell is that? Oh my god. Are you kidding me right now?
Strangely, all sorts of paranormal activity started occurring in the kitchen, and Amy was forced to investigate closer. She entered the room where she was in the thick of the horrors, and the spirit went as far as flinging a can onto the floor, which could not have happened without human contact, but it did. She never decided to inform her roommates on what happened that night, in fear that she would receive a negative response, but the event still sticks with her to date. On April 18th of 2010, a group of security officers heard some banging from the room above them, and in response decided to check the cameras. At first, they all believed that this would just be a regular employee making lots of noise, but then they remembered that there were only 8 other staff members on shift, and they were supposed to be in the other building. Due to this, they had their speculations that a burglar may have broken into the premises, but little did they know that things were much worse than that. Somehow, after checking the cameras, nothing was up there, and the officers started to question what was happening. As they came to the logical conclusion that a shelf must have fallen over though, the spirit acted in front of their very eyes. From tampering with the lockers to rolling the wheelchair, this spirit was clearly passionate about making its presence known. No one can explain this event with a logical answer, so the consensus is that this truly was a haunting. Any obligations to that statement can be put into the comment section. Now this next clip is one of, if not the shortest pieces of footage on this channel, but as many wise people know, quality comes far above quantity. It took place in the midst of the Christmas season on December 23rd of 2012. And highlighted a mother filming the gift that she purchased for her daughter. She wanted it on record because she was a big lover of photos and believed that they were the best way to capture memories, and in this instance, nightmares.
Bueno, aquí les presentamos a la muñeca de Bessie que se la regalaron a sus 15 años. No manches, mira.
Whilst the mother was innocently showing off the doll, it turned its head towards her in such a quick motion that she did not realize. However, the person behind the camera noticed exactly what happened and was quick to let the mother know. The reaction was definitely called for. According to the person who filmed this fascinating piece of footage, 30 minutes after the event, they had police knocking on the door, who had apparently been summoned by neighbors. The mother's scream was so loud that the entire street heard it and were worried that there may have been some sort of domestic abuse going on. Would you have called the cops in that sort of situation? I'm keen to hear what you guys think, because I would certainly have checked for further information beforehand. Old videos are some of the most believable sightings of spirits because the technology back then was nowhere near good enough to properly stay things of such magnitudes. Nowadays, creators can open an editing software and make all sorts of spooky stuff happen, but back then, this was not the case, and that is why I believe that the upcoming clip was completely legitimate. It took place in the male locker room, and Michael and Lexus both witnessed a locker opening on its own accord. This obviously spooked them out more than most things, so they got their friend to use their brick phone to film what was happening, and this is what was caught.
Hi, I'm Michael and this is Lexus. Hi, we've been hearing weird stuff that's going on in this locker and a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
We got lockers opening, weird noises, stuff dropping.
Yeah.
All that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Cold feeling in your legs.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like feeling cold.
Yeah. Feels like you're in a freezer.
Yo, what the hell was that? Did that broom just... Did you guys knock that or it fell?
No way. No. That was an actual holster.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
It's getting scary now. Wait.
How did this thing come off?
Oh, hold on a second.
I don't know, but...
Something's not right. Hold on a sec, guys.
It's attached to this. I don't think that can come loose.
Yo, what was that? Wait, hold on, guys, be quiet. See which locker that's coming from. It's one of these lockers.
It's coming from this locker.
Come on, get back. Oh, shit. Can you open that again? Oh, jeez.
Can you make any noises? You want me to see if I can...
I don't know, just stay away.
Okay, my guess this thing really wants to...
Alright, what else you have to say?
The locker continued to make noises, as well as opening and closing even after the camera was taken out, which went to show that this poltergeist was far from camera shy. The trio who were in the locker room were stumped to the maximum and had no idea how to react to this, but just in case they were deemed as fakers, they made sure to record their proof.
Fucking locker. Shiny ass bitch. Let's check it out.
Open it, see what's inside.
Oh shit, there's nothing in there.
Come on. Scaring me.
Check inside, like, see if it's pressure plated.
I don't see it.
Everything. Check inside. What the?
Yo, I'm feeling cold. I'm feeling cold.
Something just hit me.
What the hell?
Okay, that thing just hit me on my leg.
Up there.
This thing just hit me right on my leg.
Second.
Okay, something's in here, and I don't know what the hell is going on. This, that, locker opening. What next? You start floating in the air? Oh my god. Something's in there. Something is coming. And, what's that over there?
Where?
Okay. Duh.
The duo got their friend who helpfully agreed to record the incident to film the inside of the locker to protect them all from being called fakes, and they found nothing inside the locker. This is the only thing that forced everybody to believe them, and a priest was summoned to the high school on the very next day. Michael, Lexus, and their good friend, that we will call the cameraman, were the heroes of the institution, and they became known for busting the locker room spirit. Jerry Bruce was an elderly man who had experienced his fair share of paranormal activity. To be more specific, he had experienced a 12-year haunting in his last home and in consequence was forced to enter a new house, despite being unable to sell the old one, which set him very far back financially. He believed that the cost would be worth the peace and quiet of being able to live in a pure home. But little did he know that this spirit was not attached to the old house. It was attached to him. On his third night in the new home, he was loving life, and nothing odd had happened up to that point. It was then that his spirit decided to make him aware that it had followed him, and that he had wasted his money trying to escape it.
Everybody can see this, and I've done it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting the hell out of here.
For some reason, the closet handle started rattling at a very unnatural pace, and after seeing this, Jerry made sure to open the door and clear up that nothing was on the other side. At least nothing that could be considered visible. A highly discussed theory is that the handle was just slippery and was shaking for that reason, but that was an awfully unlikely conclusion. Some people just fail to acknowledge the existence of spirits, unlike subscribers of my channel. The following video is quite a weird one compared to some of the others I usually show, but there is definitely a good amount to discuss about it, so I decided to take a look at it anyway. It took place in the house of Rosana, a widow with no children and near to no family. This face becomes very relevant after you watch the clip, so make sure that you keep it dented in your mind. She had no children. The video happened at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, shortly after she had eaten some lunchly for her dinner. It was the cheapest thing she could find in Walmart. Whatever was in the lunchly must not have been good though, because straight after finishing it, this happened.
Je suis frigorifiée. Et il y a cette odeur-là, de pourriture. Je sais qu'il est là. Tant pis. Qui es-tu? Qui es-tu? Allez. Allez, dis. Qui es-tu?
Disregarding the fact that the pencil was snatched from her hand by an invisible entity, at the end of the clip, a baby could be heard crying. And this is why I highlighted the fact that she had no children earlier. Somehow a baby had entered her house, or at least that's what it seemed like, until she went to investigate.
Arrête. Arrête. Oh Dieu. C'est quoi? Ah, non, 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 non.
The woman went to see what the baby crying was, and whether the poor thing emitting the sounds was okay. However, when she arrived on scene, there was a tab open on her laptop, playing the sound effects. To the side of the laptop was a doll that she had never owned, and to make matters even worse, it was levitating off the ground. Eventually, it dropped, and after searching the entire sentiment room, the place where the woman kept her childhood belongings, in case she ever did have a kid, there was no doll in sight. Workplaces are supposed to be peaceful and calm in order to maintain concentration, but the one in this next video was far from that. It belonged to the father of a small family and was located on the bottom floor right by the kitchen. This was seemingly the perfect location for an office due to its nice airflow and location where the rest of the family had no need to interrupt him. However, something upstairs did. Have a watch.
So I'm in my dining room right now. I'm just organizing some Christmas stuff. Don't judge me. I'm home alone, of course, because my husband left to run literally one errand that's going to take like 20 minutes. And I swear I'm hearing, like, I don't know, some sort of noise coming from upstairs in the Airbnb. No, we don't have guests up there right now. And even Susanna's chilling here with me, and she's been like looking up at the ceiling too, confirming that I'm not crazy. And I swear it's coming from my husband's office, because this room is notorious for hearing stuff above the ceiling. Oh my God. Absolutely not. Do you guys hear that? And of course, now that I'm up here, I don't hear anything, but I know I'm not crazy because, like I said, Susanna was looking around too. Sometimes people have asked me, do you ever feel like someone's watching you or someone's up there with you? Yes. Sometimes I feel like there's literally someone following me, which I know sounds crazy, but it's not.
Even after scanning the entire upstairs floor for any sign of movement, the woman found nothing and was left completely convinced that a spirit was haunting the second floor. The father, on the other hand, was not so easily convinced and hired pest killers to come and handle what he deemed to be rodents in the walls. Which side do you believe? These middle-aged men were all sitting around the table discussing their business matters when a huge shock made sure they left the table feeling that little bit more disturbed. The men decided to have their dinner together as a celebration for one of them reaching $3,000 a month on their first business, which they were all extremely proud of. When they were younger, they all wanted to run successful businesses, and none of them were on the wrong track. It was great to see. However, during this excellent dinner meetup, full of nothing but food and good vibes, one of the strangest events of these men's lives occurred. Take a look.
Did you hear it? What? I didn't. What? What? What the what? I think I saw it. It's on camera. Have a look. What? 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 What was it? Shit. What's going on? I've just got out of the room. What are you fucking screaming about and looking white in the face for and got a mouth open at Halloween? What? I saw it fall off the fucking shelf. What? I think that's just broken the floor. What was it? That one. It's two falling off.
Somehow, a vase fell from the counter onto the floor and shattered to pieces. The man who screamed was actually the one who had reached the $3,000 per month, and it was quite upsetting for the men to see his day being tarnished by something so minuscule. They were all convinced that this was not a ghost and must have just fallen due to them moving too much, but he was not sure whatsoever. He was convinced it was a spirit and tells the story as if it was to this day. We have looked into several clips filmed by a man called Jake on this channel, and his story never seems to end. It all started a few weeks back when he captured a spirit on the CCTV cameras placed in his daughter's room, and ever since then, the paranormal activity in the property has flown through the roof. From unaccompanied footsteps to cupboards opening on their own accord, we have witnessed all sorts of paranormal events unfolding from the camera of Jake, and this is no different in the following video.
So I'm sitting here gaming, and that object up there swung and literally smacked the glass really hard. Damn reflection, but look, still moving. Let's catch it before it stops. Look, still moving. Oh no, it moved. Look, it was sitting there, as you can see from the dust. Oh, so it moved. Alright. Can you make it swing again? Damn, I really need to wipe off in there. Look at all that shit. Can you make it swing again? Try to open that more. Hello? Can you make it move again? Oh, look. It made them all move now. Nice. Can you make it swing like you did before when it hit the glass? It's going out of focus. Alright, now I said swing it, not move it. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. And I opened that thing, so probably let the damn thing out. Yo, this thing keeps moving. I'm like nervous and shaking, and I'm lightheaded a little bit. Keeps going out of focus. Surprised them things ain't shaking more, how much it moved. I'm so nervous, man. So lightheaded. I'm gonna regret this, but can you make it move again? Can you make it move again? So lightheaded. Can you slide it the other way? Keeps going out of focus. Yo! Was that a nickel, a dime, a penny? Look, there's my change. That thing went flying. How did it not hit the glass? See, that's some glitch in the matrix shit. Yo, I gotta rewatch that, cause how'd it get past that glass and fly behind this stuff? What the fuck is that? That's definitely not what flew out. I don't even know where that went. Or even, that looked like a quarter or a nickel or a dime, because it wasn't no penny. That shit was too shiny for that. I'm like freaking out. See, it keeps going out of focus, man. I think something's in there. I'm good. It can stay in there. Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch that again because I'm a little stumped on how it didn't hit the glass.
This time around, Jake heard some tapping noises coming from the cupboard, and he had to go and investigate what was going on. It was here when he found out that an object inside of it was causing this, followed by other items moving around the place, finishing with a dime. I am certain that we will receive more clips showcasing Jake's troubles though, so subscribe. Throughout the next 4 videos, including this one, we will discuss a man called Roland, who has been experiencing paranormal activity for a long time now. He constantly captures clips regarding the paranormal and has featured on this channel several times, so it only makes sense to include a lot more of him. In order to keep up with his story though, make sure you subscribe so that you do not miss certain parts. Anyways, without further ado, in the video you're about to see, Roland was in his garage trying to find a toolbox when he captured something more than shocking.
Alright. What in the hell is that? There's something up there. I don't know what the hell's going on in here. I heard something over here and then over there. All right, I feel something in the air right here. My bike looks like it has been moved. It looks like something... What the hell is that? All right, something just fell over here. Is there a spirit in here that just made something fall? Was there a spirit that moved my bike? Something. It's outside. I'm gonna get hurt. It's outside, but I'm gonna try to get out there fast. Oh, shoot. All right, I just heard something. It's like a whistle. It's like somebody was whistling out here. Legit, somebody just whistled. What in the hell?
Weirdly, there was a spirit in his garage messing around with his bike, and he was far from appreciative about this. Things only got worse for Roland from here though, so remember what I said previously. Turn on post notifications so you can keep up to date with the other clips that he entails. In the following video, American video creator Ancha Ninja Japan was conducting a tour of a house for his viewers when the unexpected happened. All he expected to come from this tour was some cash from the TikTok creator fund, but what he did end up getting was far from that, and not for the correct reasons either. The rent of the apartment was over $700 per month, which in case you don't know is actually a fairly cheap price. So the creator expected this house to gain a sale, and he would receive a commission too, but little did he know that posting this would do the opposite of attracting customers, because people do not tend to enjoy a haunted house.
Here's what $760 gets you in Fukuoka, Japan. Now today we have a classic Japanese home, starting with a very nice tatami room. This house will run you a monthly rent of 12 man. This 4-bedroom home is in a wonderful location. 3-minute walk away from a supermarket, electronics store, and convenience stores. And just a 5-minute bike ride, you are at the train station. So you're easily able to get to the center of the city. Lovely little kitchen area, and lots of kitchen storage with this built-in cabinet. Next we have this interesting little room here, which could easily be an office or gaming room. And it wouldn't be a Japanese home without very steep stairs. Also, don't forget to check out my apartment tour playlist. And upstairs we have one more tatami room. If you've never been around tatami mats, they put off a very nice smell. And here we have a room with a hardwood floor. There's not much of a view, but you do have wonderful natural lighting. I lived in Seattle for many years and I am traumatized and I need all the natural light I can get. Also, if you're someone with a car or planning to get a car, this house comes with a parking spot. Classic toilet. Also, mind you, the toilet has a sink on the back. I think many people don't realize that. And last, a classic Japanese bathroom. So what do you think of this house? Would you live here?
Now, it took me a few attempts to actually decipher what made this clip so weird when I received it through email. But after watching it back a few times, I noticed something severely unsettling around 5 seconds in. You could see a black figure on the other side of the wall, staring at the creator before disappearing on second sight. Very creepy indeed. Speaking to the paranormal is an ability that many people dream of obtaining, but if you are one of those people, you will take back your wishes after watching this next video. It took place in the room of Lucas, who had recently lost the love of his life to a car crash and had not yet recovered. He left all sorts of memorabilia of her lying around the house in order to help him cope and remind him of the memories, but the last thing he wanted to happen was about to happen. I guess when you understand what caused it, you could say he brought it upon himself.
So this app, We Contact, claims to use AI to connect to the spirit realm and let you talk to ghosts. I am obviously skeptical, but I'm curious. So I thought I'd use it, give it a shot, and record myself. So let's see how this works. Is there a spirit here with me?
Yes, there is a spirit here with you.
Okay. What's your name?
You know my name.
I know your name. Alright, have we met before?
Why are you acting like this? Are you feeling okay?
I'm feeling fine. Are you feeling okay?
I'm a little cold, and everything is dark in here. Why do you have the lights out?
It's actually daytime in my house.
I've been calling you all day, baby, and you've been ignoring me. If something's wrong, say so. Let's talk about this. It's making me very angry.
Lucas found one of those highly advertised apps which claimed to have the power to speak to the dead, and in desperation to speak to his significant other, he instantly started the download. It supposedly did not take long to load onto his phone, which was a surprise due to his low data, but after the call, he wished he had never started it. When she told him that she was angry, he was ready to call it rubbish and delete the app, but it was at this moment that her picture fell to the ground. This confirmed that this was real, albeit that was not a good thing. On November 30th of 2018, a middle-aged woman was trying to work out how to do something on her phone when she accidentally opened up the camera app. This was seemingly an event that would not cause any impact, as she usually made mistakes like this when using modern technology, but little did she know that this would cause her phone to become, well, strange to say the least. For the next few days, she continued as normal as if nothing happened, not telling anyone what had happened to hide herself from all of the embarrassment. What she had no idea about, though, was the fact that she had no need to hide because somehow she was already hiding. Confused as to what I mean? Watch the clip.
Y'all, I am in my yard. Watch my face. This is not an app doing this. This is my yard. The church is behind me. Watch my face. Church, you can see straight through me. I kid you not. Look at this. Whoa.
As weird as this may have been, the camera continued to make her invisible when she directed it towards the church, and she was adamant that this was not a filter. Regardless of whether she did accidentally apply one or not, I am not going to give my verdict and invite you to make that decision in the comments. In the last video, we stepped into the home of Raj and his roommate, who had been living a fairly regular life until their nightmare came to the front door. Raj was a huge fan of ancient objects and loved to order them to the house despite his roommate's dissatisfaction. Only time would tell that Raj should have listened. One day, he ordered a mummy, which the owner claimed to be a real practice replica from the ancient Egyptian era. Even though he received no evidence that this mummy was legitimate, Raj was too keen to take the offer, and ever since then, his home has been haunted. The upcoming clip took place 2 days after the mummy incident and was arguably just as terrifying.
You guys hear that? What the hell? Hello? What? Come on. It's not turning on. Oh, shit. What the hell, dude? I'm getting enough of this shit. Seriously. Hello?
This time around, some very similar things happened to last time, and the eerie corridor of rooms really lived up to its eerie status. From objects moving alone to a wave of chills, Raj definitely felt an awful presence, and I am sure this will not be the last clip we see that was taken by him on the channel. James was a 30-year-old man who had no interest in paranormal activity until around a year before the upcoming recording. You see, he lived a normal life and was very outward about his beliefs regarding religion. He believed that science was the only answer, and that a spiritual world is just nonsense. Little did he know that he was about to learn his lesson. Progressively, over the days and months, some odd things started happening in James's house, until eventually he could not ignore it for any longer. He contacted a priest to visit his home and bless it, which they did. However, this did not solve anything because the following clip occurred shortly after.
Yo.
For an unknown reason, James kept hearing a rattling sound coming from the cabinet you could see, and he decided to investigate it. It was at this very moment that his gaming chair turned around without any contact from anything, and this obviously shocked him. He truly believed that getting the house blessed was an amazing idea and would save him from the evil entities, but surprisingly, this was not the case, and things only got more extreme.
Yo. Yo.
Somehow, a few more objects in this room moved, and this was enough to completely convince James that he had no chance of banishing the entity living in his house. He made his new mission to sell the house off at a good price and purchase a new one closer to his parents. We were not updated on how this mission went. In a past video on this channel, we have gone into the life of Daniel, a young adult who was going through one of the worst times of his life. He and his now ex-girlfriend Kate decided they were going to split rent on a property together to make things much easier. However, she broke up with him shortly after and went back to their parents. This really put Daniel in the mud because he had terms with the landlord that the house would be occupied for a minimum of 6 months, so he was going to be billed for that length of time. As if this was not stressful enough, he was struggling to sleep due to some strange phenomena from the closet. At random intervals, he would hear sounds and see movement from inside there, which was what he wanted whatsoever. The video I am about to show you is the most recent one from his struggles, and it gets bad.
So it just started knocking in the closet again. And actually the doll has moved since yesterday because it was in the corner, like kind of on its back looking upwards, and now it's upright, so that's kind of scary. See if it'll knock anymore. Or it'll just move the shirt in the closet. Hey, if you can hear me, just move it again. Alright. We can actually just go check it out. Because there's no one in here. It's not really, it's kind of cluttered, so yesterday it was over here.
Daniel actually managed to communicate with the spirit through moving the shirt, which was quite a smart method of getting around the spirit to human barrier. Surprisingly, the spirit complied with his questions and continued to move the shirt, which proved that there was something present that night, although that being a bad thing. In a very recent video, we witnessed a James experiment which is going to take some additional explaining for those of you who did not watch the content I am referencing. William Sloan was a normal boy who believed that his house was being haunted by a spirit he decided to name James. Every single day, things so far out of the ordinary you would not believe it were happening, and despite William telling his parents all of this, none of them believed a word. In order to counter this, he decided to start running James tests, which were experiments trying to gain evidence of the ghost's existence. This video comes from a rather peculiar test that I believe you should see. Evil spirits are more tempted to tamper with holy books, so William decided it would be smart to place a book discussing religion on his living room bookshelf. As well as this, he put a camera opposite the shelf in order to capture anything that happened to the book on tape, and he caught something all right. Take a look.
Okay, I've been going over the footage from last night, and it's pretty crazy. And I don't know what's going on, but I tell you, I've been blaming my cats since I got them for pulling my records off the shelf. And, I don't know. Sometimes it might be them, but it definitely wasn't last night.
First of all, the holy book was on the floor in no time, and this proved William's hypothesis at the start of this experiment. Whatever was in his house was evil. Just to put the icing on the cake, James moved an item on the table all the way across it to confirm that the book did not, in fact, magically fall to the ground. This James test proved a success, and comment if you like them, because I will be sure to include more in future. In the following video, McKenzie was in her room building her new bed when she suddenly got the urge to look out into the neighborhood. This urge came from a dark feeling that something was up, and her heart continuously assured her that this disturbance was coming from outside. Listening to her urges, she went over to the window and checked up on the streets. It was at this point that something extremely strange caught her eye.
I'm like fucking scared. There is no one standing there, but there's a silhouette, like a shadow of a person. Yeah.
Strangely, the shadow of a human could be seen on the wall, and it was evident that nobody was standing on the street. McKenzie was very perplexed by this, and felt the dark feelings in her body surge further. She knew for certain that this was not meant to be happening. Fortunately though, she was not the only person who got a weird feeling from this, and discovered that her entire audience felt the same way, which forced her to produce a follow-up explanation.
Hi, I decided to record this video because when I saw amount of comments and videos and direct messages for the video that I have recorded like on Saturday, so I was shocked. So people who are saying that it was spray painted, no, it was not. I'm gonna show you a video. I'm gonna show what is happening now. People that are saying that I have photoshopped that, damn, it took me 4 tries for me to be able to record this video, because I didn't realize that there are stories and videos, and in videos you can select 3 minutes long video. So that's another thing. Even though I'm a white lady in her 30s, and usually in horror movies we are killed first, I that day, 5 minutes after I took that video, I went downstairs to check what is causing that, because even though I was very scared, I was I'm too curious. Nothing could cause that. Nothing. Tomorrow when I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna take a video so that if anyone is interested, you can check that yourself. But that, a shadow can be either a direct projection of something, or it needs to have a trail from something that is causing this to have a shadow. I'm oh. But yeah, it did not have that. It did not. And also the the lamppost that was very, very far ahead, it was not reaching, I could see when its shadow was finishing. And also the building that is up on the opposite street, opposite that building, that shadow, it was not causing that. I have no idea. I do believe in those kind of things a bit, but not as much. And I was so scared. I was not a little bit scared, I was scared. But then I decided to enjoy my bank holiday weekend. And people from UK, I hope you enjoyed the bank holiday. Yeah. So as you see, there is nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah. That's a lamppost on next to my neighbors. And it would project here. So yeah. Nothing.
In this explanation, she broke down the important aspects of the prior clip and debunked all of the allegations that the shadow was not that of a ghost. The main theory was that it was cast by something real and only appeared as a human figure. But after having a look at the street towards the end of the explanations, this theory was shut down immediately. Mike and Sam were 2 well-renowned ghost hunters around their town, and when I say renowned, I mean it. They would go on expeditions every week, desperate to find scientific evidence of the paranormal world, and in the next clip, they came very close. It took place in the woodlands next to a highway, where it was rumored that somebody passed away willingly. Their goal on this mission was to capture an interaction with the spirit of that person on camera, to prove that spirits are always watching over their point of death, and it went well in that book.
My name is Mike. This is my friend Sam. Hello. We don't mean any disrespect. We're only here to learn and communicate. This may be your last opportunity to communicate with anyone.
Right when you asked that last question, the camera just died.
Really? Was it charged?
Yeah, it was fully charged. I mean, I K2, check the K2. Something over there?
I haven't seen anything, bro.
Dude, something moved over there, I swear. Wait, it's moving.
Whoa! Where's it at?
If you paid very close attention to the ending of this clip, a pale figure could be seen gliding across the camera. This was very weird considering Mike and Sam were the only people on the expedition, and the figure looked way too transparent to be that of a human being. I guess the truth is that we will never really know though. All we do know is that this is the closest that Mike and Sam got to undeniable evidence of the paranormal world. Ghost hunting is a profession carried out by only the bravest of people, and that characteristic can definitely be said to describe Henry, the British hunter that you are about to step into the shoes of. Henry had been ghost hunting for 3 years, up until the point of this clip, and he fell in love with the hobby, becoming one of the hardest people to strike fear into on the planet. However, on the adventure that we are discussing in this video, the spirit got very close to breaking him. It took place at 1 AM in an abandoned mansion described as the place of nightmares. It was well known around the mansion's area that it was not a normal place, but nobody truly knew why, since the last family to live there did not pass away within its walls. Anyway, that is besides the main point. This mansion was haunted, and Henry was inside it. Let's take a look at some of the events that happened.
This place is fucking horrible.
Now, other than the drawer opening at the beginning, you are probably wondering what on earth made this clip worthy of making the mansion a certainly haunted place. The drawer could have easily slipped open by itself, due to a problem with it, so in the eyes of most people, this was far from evidence. Well, I want you to take note of where you saw a fire extinguisher here, on the table at the back, before I play something from a lot later in the video. Ready? Here we go.
I smell smoke. That's someone had a cigarette.
If you paid enough attention, you would be able to see that the extinguisher moved to a different location in the room. This made no sense because Henry did not revisit the room in between these timestamps, so it could not have been him. A lot more happened in that mansion, but I do not have the time to include it in this video, so subscribe to not miss the future clips from this adventure. In the following video, Daza was selected for the night shift in his local corner store. The staff liked to alternate this shift because it did not feel fair for the person working on it to be paid the same as the rest, because it was obviously a much more demanding time to come into work. At the time of this recording, Daza was finishing off rearranging the shelves and was then going to lock up the store for the night to prevent any robberies from taking place. This was probably the most annoying job in the store because of how many things needed shutting off before the store became closed, but regardless, he needed to do it anyways. It was during this job role that something absolutely jaw-dropping occurred though, and he was fortunate to have noticed it happen because of how quickly it happened.
Yo queriendo grabar mi rutina y pasa esto.
Now I doubt even you managed to understand what happened in this clip, but do not worry because I will explain it to you. At the timestamp of 37 seconds, a figure could be seen walking past the shelves, and Daza obviously went to check that he had not gotten a final customer to make his life even harder. To his delight, there was no customer on the other side. To his dismay rather, this meant that whatever passed by must have been a spirit. Since that day, he has always felt an odd feeling in the store, but his manager says he is probably experiencing the placebo effect. Regardless of what he was experiencing though, it was 100% that he at least encountered the spirit once. 2 days after that incident, the same employee was on a night shift when something equally as suspicious as the last time occurred. It is important to note that he was mopping the entire floor, so it was impossible that what he found was present beforehand. Take a look.
Pensé que era puro pedo que anda una niña.
Acabo de trapear. No me lo van a creer, pero... Bachen. Si son cuerdas para distinguirlas, son unas patitas. Ay, güey, no seas mamón, verga.
Shockingly, the floor was covered in footprints, except not ones that you would be likely to see. They were white and flat, as if they weren't real, and Daza explained that even after feeling the prints, they just felt like the floor did normally. This was made even more mysterious when Daza came back to work the next evening to find that they were absent despite him leaving them there so he could show his boss. If that does not scream spirit to you, then I have no idea what does. The following video took place in the kitchen of Don, a young adult who had only recently purchased his own property. Him and his best friend Jackson had bought the house together after running a fairly successful business, of which they went on to sell. Its main usefulness was being close to college, but other than that, they might as well have stayed in their parents' homes. On the positive side, though, the house had no direct correlations to paranormal activity, which was a huge no-go for Don especially. He was a believer in the spiritual world, and was very relieved when his poltergeist-driven questions were denied. However, little did anybody know that he would become the first to experience something of that nature in the house.
Snake, you a jerk. Why I gotta be a jerk?
been done? Burning?
What? You got still see the little. What
You? Yes, I'm gonna burn now. I'm a burn man. You? Yeah, right. Bad, bro. Red, nigga. I've been taking them out. Jerry. Hey, I got I need a battery for my other app. I got a cold that's about this big. It's tough. Yes, you ought to see it, bro. All of the whole thing. No, it's an apple. Yeah.
And now your little onion.
Hold on. That mother got shorted.
Strangely, if you paid very close attention, the chair moved by itself, which really frightened the duo after they looked back on the footage. It is also very clear that no rope or anything that could influence the chair to move was present, so this must have been the first sighting of a spirit within the house in years. On April 20th of 2024, Roland was minding his own business when something from the underworld decided to pay him a visit. Now Roland is no noob to paranormal experiences and has actually posted several other encounters on his decently sized channel. He's pretty much known as the ghost guy. Even people so used to such a strange world can feel fear in its presence though, and you could tell that this was the case in the upcoming clip.
Way. What the hell? Alright, that just freaking popped out of nowhere. That couldn't just come out of nowhere. That just... Alright, there's nobody back behind this clown except for the clown itself. Oh my god, no.
Somehow, some sort of clown figure popped around the corner, and the weird thing is that Roland did not even own something like that. It was extremely random for it to have almost spawned in, and even Roland, who as previously mentioned is no amateur when it comes to these things, paused dead in his tracks. Fortunately for us viewers though, he was not finished with his search. After such a terrifying experience, most people would turn around and accept defeat, leaving the haunted location for good. Not Roland. He was, and still is, a different breed. Whether it was smart or stupid, he wanted to continue his search just in case he caught something just as special, and he did.
Oh, am I dealing with whatever's here existing? Because... Whoa. Alright, you need to chill out with this. Yeah, it's a dad joke, but... Alright, now, Omar was talking about one of these dolls, like, really haunted, and I believe it's back here. Right there. It's just sitting here. It's sitting right in there. And of course,
As he entered the kitchen, the refrigerator started operating by itself, and Roland was confused to say the least. The fact that both doors did this as well was crazy, and he was definitely not going to visit this house again. Rihanna was a Scottish woman who had been pregnant for 7 whole months and loved the idea of having a baby. Her husband was just as excited as she was, but they were having some trouble coming up with names. The father wanted to call the son Gabriel and believed it was a unique yet appealing name. However, the wife believed it to be too feminine in the modern day. She wanted something simple that would not get her son mocked like Freddie. One night when Rihanna was sitting on the sofa talking to her baby, let's call him Freddie, she suddenly experienced one of the spookiest instances of her life, and it was not easy to recover from. Take a look.
Come on, Freddie. I know we call you Freddie, but we don't know what to call you yet. But we like it.
Wowzers.
Out of absolutely nowhere, the can of Foster's flew to the ground, and there are quite a lot of theories surrounding this seemingly random event. In case you did not know, pleasurous beverages such as Foster's are not healthy to drink if you are carrying a child. It can lead to things such as deformities and growth issues, so perhaps the spirit was attempting to send a sign to Rihanna that what she was doing was far from worth it. I guess the truth is that we will never know for sure, though. On a Tuesday night in Russia, Vladov was relaxing in his bedroom all alone after a long and hard week at work. His boss had been ridiculously harsh on him for 7 days and piled too much work for him to handle, so all he needed was a lovely night to rest. Unfortunately, he is in a haunter video though, so of course this dream night did not become a reality.
Пожалуйста, очередная долбежка в окно. Продолжается уже месяца 3. Примерно каждые 2 недели. Не знаю, так видно, не видно. Вот и ебал я такие приколы.
For some unknown reason, a weird scraping sound started playing for a long period of time, and Vladov spent his minutes trying to figure out what the source of it was. Eventually, he discovered that it was from his radiator, but nothing was visibly scraping against it. This had to be the act of a poltergeist. In the following video, a family were playing a huge game of hide and seek after the youngest child suggested that they play it. They were having a gathering due to the death anniversary of the wisest person who held the family's surname, their grandma, and the parents accepted the hide and seek challenge in hopes that it would cheer the before grieving children up a little. As you are about to discover for yourself, this did not work.
ちょっと待ってよ今見えたぞどこだあれこっちどこですかどこかなあ、ここかなこっちかな トイレ。あ、いない。見えた。こっち？ここかな？いそう。ここら辺？ここかな？どこかな？あれ？いない。あれ？どこ？あれ？ここ？いない。あれ？
For a solid 10 seconds, the seeker believed that they had found Coco, her daughter. But sometimes things are not as they seem to be. Moments after spotting Coco peeking around the hole, she came running to her mother with all of her friends, which was very curious, inciting to say the least. Later on in the evening, when all of the other children went home, the mother asked her daughter how she managed to sneak out of the wooden hut so quickly. The response was horrifying. She was hiding on the other side of the boundary. Baby cameras are an ever-growing product across the USA, and the following video is one of the prime reasons why this is the case. In the early stages of any baby's life, it is important to have eyes on them at all times, in the rare event that something terrible happens, and a rare event definitely happened here. In fact, many would go and describe it as being beyond rare. Now, the wife claimed that the baby willingly crawled under the bed, but that simply made no sense considering that it was on its side and clearly trying to kick away from something. An entity of some sort was under there, attempting to harm the girl, or at least cause some disruption to her sleeping schedule. To further back up this claim, this was not the only time the event happened, and the baby has been pulled under the bed on another occasion. This one was more debatable, but something happened for sure. What do you think? The act of an evil spirit or simply a kid hiding from something? Let me know in the comments. The following video took place on March 12th of 2014 and featured a young man in his apartment. He had taken residence in this apartment 2 years ago and planned on calling it home throughout his entire time at university. However, little did he know that one event would happen that would put him off the place forever and frighten him from ever visiting again. After the metal box fell, the activity stopped, and the man was left sitting there in utter confusion. He had no idea what on earth just happened, and would not be able to explain it if you paid him to do so. This event was so concerning to him, though, that he contacted the owner of the apartments and let him know that he would no longer be paying rent, and the place would be vacated within a week. He then proceeded to take residence at his grandma's. Children are the most innocent forms of human on the planet, and it really needs to stay this way. When they are exposed to frightening things such as gore or the paranormal world, it can have a very concerning effect on them, and this happened to the child in the next clip. His name was Thomas, and both his parents and daycare workers referred to him as a little angel. He never did anything wrong and was the perfect child, but little did any of them know what he was about to go through. It was 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and Thomas was messing around with his new toys. He had no idea that he was the one who was about to be messed with.
One. Which one? The orange one. And the green one. Come on up. Daddy. D-I-A-M-E-N. I just done
Somehow the bowl slid itself across the table without any human interaction, and it was very clear that no strings or affecting items were in contact with it. Fortunately, the bowl managed to knock something over, otherwise the parents would have never noticed and would not have checked the cameras for this footage. Now, after releasing this video, it surprisingly received a lot of hate, with the audience claiming that it did not look real in the slightest. The mother of Thomas, on the other hand, was not going to take these claims lightly, so released another video featuring her son in the same location. This time around, a lot more movement happened on the tabletop, as well as a bang coming from the door. In the last clip, Thomas was not able to realize what was going on, so everything was fine. But in this one he did, and he was traumatized to say the least. For the following nights he struggled to get any rest, and was permitted to stay absent from his school by his mother. Due to a lack of updates, we do not know if the boy eventually got over the incident, but all we can do is hope. Now most of the clips that I showcase on this channel are fairly complex and need some analyzing to truly understand what went on. The upcoming video, however, is nothing like that and features some of the most basic paranormal activity out there, but this came in a humongous quantity. So much haunted stuff happened within such a short time period that even I struggled to keep up with things, and I bet you will too. Take a look. All sorts of items started moving in the same room, but there was one specific incident which I wanted to zoom in on for you guys, and I am going to do it. Roughly 23 seconds into the clip, a dark item could be seen gliding across the camera, and I would like to take the obvious assumption that it was the figure of a ghost. Feel free to make your own mind up on what it was in the comments though. Now that was spooky enough for the owners of that house, but what if I told you that on the exact same day they captured something else that was arguably just as terrifying? After witnessing the catastrophe in the other room, they took it upon themselves to check every single camera in the building to try and figure out what caused the incident, but all that they found were more incidents. In this room, a clock started going crazy, and surprisingly, this turned out to be quite a promising lead as to who this spirit belonged to. The owner of the house's father had passed away a couple of years back, and he was a clockmaker. What made this so important was that the clock on the door was actually created by him, so it made sense why he would fiddle with it. Schools are usually full to the brim with life, and we do not usually see them in any other way. It is extraordinarily different to picture a school with barely anybody inside of it, but the employee in the next video was working late, and he lived through that experience firsthand. He explained that it was not creepy to him because he was used to it and worked late every other week. However, for the first time ever, he became terrified, and this moment was captured on video.
All right, I'm just finishing up putting up decorations for the students when they get back. I was on the smart board setting things up. I'm taking a step back, and you guys know me. I stay late often. It's just me here and the janitor, and let me show you. Do you see? I mean, is that not a kid sitting right there? Just me.
Weirdly, there was an odd figure that seemed to be sitting at one of the desks in the same room as the employee. The kid who usually sat in that desk was called Oliver, and he was super brain-rotted. He spent all day shouting words like skibbity and riz, so the employee claimed that having a spirit taking his place was not such a bad thing after all. He did retract this statement when he realized the story behind it though. A girl who attended the school actually passed away in hospital a few hours before the clip occurred. So from the looks of it, the jigsaw pieces came together for the employee. What he saw was the girl exploring the building for one last time, and this fact made things much worse for him. Angel was a family-orientated woman who had a strong belief in God. She was a devoted Christian, and as well as trusting the words of the Bible, she also thought that spirits and the afterlife were factual concepts, so she was not too shocked when she figured out that she was being haunted. That does not speak for her fright levels, though. It was 10 p.m. on a school night, and Angel had just finished getting the children to bed so that she could watch some television. It was at this moment that she received a Ring doorbell notification, and thank the Lord she did not decide to go and look at the scene herself, using the camera instead. What looked like a little girl in a dress could be seen in the door glass, and as if things were not creepy enough, it vanished out of thin air after a few seconds. Now, to Angel's dismay, after posting this video to the internet, she received a lot of uncalled for backlash, as people thought that she had faked the sighting for clout. Unlike most people though, she decided to be brave and respond to the controversy, defeating the haters for good.
Okay, so this is the area. The door that it was like standing inside. We don't have anything or keep anything in this area because it's a walkway and it would be really awkward. And then this is where the security camera is. So when I looked at the footage, I expected to see a person. I didn't expect to see that though.
After this debunking video, people finally believed her story, and the comments suddenly became favorable to Angel. Many people offered spiritual advice and explained that she could always come to them for help, which was very heartwarming. And we know that Angel is now in a safe place. In the outskirts of New Mexico, a plastic bag could be seen floating in the sky, and some of the residents decided to start filming it. This was because they believed the bag was suspicious due to it not flying in several directions and staying completely still, which are both highly unlikely scenarios when something with such a low weight takes flight. Eventually, though, they realized that what they were staring at was not a plastic bag at all. Out of nowhere, the bag disappeared into thin air, and everybody on scene was left very confused. Nobody can explain this event to this day, and the leading theory was that there was a very dark object that it went behind despite the people on site, denying any other buildings being present. On October 17th this year, a security team was operating as per usual in the security room. They were all sitting down laughing with each other, knowing how easy the money they were making was. In their 7 years of being together at the establishment, they had only had to deal with a singular break-in, and it was an elderly man who could not escape them for his life. However, little did they know that this particular night was a much more serious one. The time reached 10:23 p.m. when all of their laughter came to a stop. If you look closely at the door on the right, a white silhouette could be seen until it suddenly vanished. Fortunately, the camera picked up this motion, and the guards were able to go and check it out with no success, of course. Clayton was in his home minding his own business when some strange noises forced him to step out of his way to solve things. It was roughly 2 p.m. in the afternoon when this happened, and Clayton explained after the incident that when the incident happened, a feeling of chills traveled through him like an electric shock. This is common for spiritual encounters, so take a look.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm hearing noise in there in the kitchen. Sound like I heard cabinet or something. I don't know what it is. Opening up or something. If there's a spirit here, let me know. Oh, shit!
Somehow, an array of items started to move on the kitchen counter, and it was very clear that no visible presence was toying with them. This, paired with the fact that Clayton suddenly felt cold, confirmed that a spirit had been in the house that day. Fortunately, Clayton has not encountered anything since leading him to believe this was a one-time experience, but if something does happen, he will inform us, and I'll put it on the channel. The following video took place in a little girl's bedroom, and her parents had recently set up a security camera in there. You see, they were convinced that something was not right about their house, so in order to try and decipher what was wrong, they deployed CCTV all around the building. For a good few weeks, this method did nothing for them, and they were seriously considering moving due to experiencing an unsolvable problem. However, just as they were driving around searching for local houses that they could invest in, the father of the house received a notification from their daughter's room. In fear, he checked, and this is what he found. Through the lens of the camera, he could see that some unexplainable stuff was happening, and this allowed him to piece 2 and 2 together. The house felt weird because there was a haunting happening. With this information, he and his wife discussed how to move forward, and they unanimously decided to stay put. They contacted the local church for help with banishing the spirit, but did not want to run away with the fear that it would just come back again. Now, on this channel, we have seen several spirits, but one of the less common ones that we come across are mimics. These emotionally tormenting ghosts copy and paste another human's voice to lure their victims to a location where their life will become hell. So, on a side note, you should always be careful what voices you trust. But would you trust your own voice? You see, there is a very slim chance that a mimic will copy and paste your voice against you in order to cause stress and confusion, and this is what the person in the upcoming clip was forced to experience. This was a very interesting clip, so I highly advise that you have a watch.
I was watching reels when I heard the knocking when I asked, "Who are you?" Then, in reply, I heard my own voice.
Cool? Hey, go on. Mama? Run, Joe.
Weirdly, the spirit continued to retort back to Abdullah, using his voice, and this frightened him for obvious reasons. Hearing someone else's voice from something that is not them would be scary enough, but hearing your own is on a whole other world of terrifying. Eventually, the craziness came to a halt, and Abdullah was finally able to get some rest. Regardless of this good night's sleep though, the mimic would not go so easy on him next time, and he needed some preparation to cope with it. Not that he received any.
I was about to sleep and then this happened again. It was around 2 a.m. in the morning.
Ruhan?
That is my voice. If you don't know what is going on, so see my previous videos. They mimic my voice always, but they don't comment.
This time around, the spirit was much more aggressive and emitted banging noises onto the door as if it was physically trying to break in. In reality, its only goal was to strike fear into Abdullah, and it is safe to say that in this moment it was experiencing success. Once the spirit finished its second night of tormenting Abdullah, he decided that enough was enough and made a strong vow to himself. He vowed that if the mimic came to his door one more time, then he would open it to truly confirm that it was not someone else playing tricks. He hoped that it was his brother or someone along those lines, so that he knew he was safe, but he did not get what he wanted whatsoever.
So this happened again.
अब मत करना।
To his dismay, nobody was standing on the other side, and he was forced into a wave of acceptance. He knew that what he was experiencing was a haunting, but what he did not know was the second steps. In case he watches this video, make sure to comment some ideas for him. Ever since the recent surge in technological advancements, security cameras have become the norm. and almost every single firm has a bunch of them set up within their premises. The business that we are about to look into was no different, except the footage that their cameras caught was far from what you would expect. Most CCTV systems end up capturing nothing special, as it is rarer than you would think for a theft to happen in a store. However, on the odd occasion, these systems will catch criminals red-handed and serve a real purpose. The cameras in this video didn't match any of those descriptions and made the security team jump when checking them. The time was roughly 3 a.m. and the staff were drinking coffee, having a chat and staring at the camera monitors. It was at this moment that the craziest experience of both their lives happened. All the items in the room started to go bizarre, as if a monkey had been let loose in a room full of bananas. Everything in the corridor was caught dropping and sliding, and the guards were not brave enough to go and face whatever the cause was. Not that any of us would be. The mystery of what caused such an odd event remains unsolved, despite many internet theorists giving it their best attempt. Feel free to have some thoughts for yourself, but there is no logical answer that you can come up with. Abdul was not the type for adventures. He would spend most of his days working his 9 to 5 before coming home and getting some rest. But for once, this routine was about to change. It was 12 past midnight and Abdul had followed the usual drill. Come home, eat dinner, and get some rest. You can't really go wrong with a plan like that. He had gotten to sleep pretty quickly compared to usual, and was in a deep slumber by 11 p.m. Little did he know that his slumber would be stopped just an hour later, and he was forced to investigate the banging noises that woke him up.
Assalamu alaikum, bargaru nima shpada nima sub nishta kor ki awaaz yuma aw baad dir dadi ki tasu awre khawaz ya Allah khair nima shpada bargaru tasu kore war dabi do bachi di tasu kore آخر قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس يا الله خير يا الله خير سوكي لك سوكي يا الله خير بسم الله الله أكبر بسم الله الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله سوكي لك وګوره مرګوري سوکم نشته یا الله خیر یا الله خیر علي یا الله خیر یا الله خیر.
As if the repetitive banging was not spooky enough, a figure in the same of a grim reaper blocked the camera for the ending part of the clip. The strange thing is that Abdul did not see this outline in real life, and only noticed its presence after glancing at his phone screen. Immediately after noticing that it was there, Abdul sprinted away from the scene, but it was not enough to make him quit completely. This was his property after all, and he knew that he needed to show the poltergeist that this was the case. So he did. He strolled around the garden like a boss, and eventually came across the room of which he did not enter much. For some reason, he felt the urge to open the door and see its contents another time, so he did, only to be ambushed by instant regret.
Garo abal oras periano be divjra ki samal jod kade ho nanrala manan la pa khair kade di auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim la ilaha illa allah muhammadur rasulullah margaro pakite ugore la ilaha illa allah muhammadur rasulullah la ilaha illa allah tasu munda korwani na prede zekar de Ya Allah khair, Ya Allah khair. La ilaha illallah.
After opening the door, he was swarmed by objects moving alone, and he had no idea how to react to such a shock. Instinctively, his body forced him into flight mode, and he fled into his house for good. This time, he was too frightened to continue searching and just wanted the warmth of his own home. However, he was too far gone. He wasn't even allowed to enjoy this privilege.
Assalamu alaikum, margaro mahami team ne mahami. O de jume shpa da ha د جمعې شپه ده په کمره کې راله سم الله غستې تاسو ګورئ ښه یا الله خیر یا الله خیر استغفر الله الله اکبر قل اعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس اله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس يا الله خير 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 مرګرو ګوره ها تاسو ته ګوره بسم الله دو ګوره کمرې رااله ونډه راورانه کړې تاسو ګوره ها الله خير يا الله خير يا الله خير استغفر الله الله اکبر الله اکبر یا الله خیر
Just like outside, his house was riddled with paranormal activity, and this was a first-time experience for Abdul. He was a very religious man, so believed that Allah would protect him if he prayed that night, so he did. Only time will tell if it worked.